Hey everybody, it's Teri Lucas from TerifiCreations, and I am doing the things that I wanted to do at market, and that is promote all my friends' stuff. And this afternoon, I am so excited to have Karla Overland of Cherrywood Fabrics. I have been in love with Cherrywood for years and years and years. And Karla and I were actually trying to figure out where and how we met, and we think it was at a quilt show in Minnesota where I was sending all my students to buy her fabric.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, which is great. And Karla is releasing this new beach collection, which I think she's going to tell us about. If not, she's going to send me images that I can post on my website. And she's going to tell us a little bit more about the business side of things today. And I'm going to hand this off to her. So Karla, have at it.
All right. Well, this is awesome, Tara, that you're doing this because I was going to attend market for the first time and have a booth. So I have all this stuff I have been working on during COVID. We have been super busy. Let me just show you what we make. It's the quilts behind me are hand-dyed cotton fabric, and it has a suede texture to it. So as you can see, it's not really flat color. There is a lot of tone on tone variation to it, and we call it the suede look. Because it's hand dyed, it doesn't have a right or wrong side. I'm just going to flip through some of these colors here and see if they show up. And there you get to see that it's kind of a mottled color. And comes in all different tones and textures. There, that's a little better. And some of the colors really show a lot of modeling like that, suede texture. The lighter colors are not as much because we really saturate these dark colors with a lot of dye. So what I'm holding here is a big luscious pile of fat quarters. We usually sell our fabric in bundles. So I am the colorist that I come up with all these formulas to dye the fabric. It's and then I dye in gradation so that the bundles are easy to use. You can just pick one up and you've got the color theory already figured out. You have 4 colors, 8 colors, 12 colors already packaged, ready to go. So for instance, this is 8 half yards.
Oh, that's 8 half yards in that size?
Yep. So they're all formulated. I wanted to get from a red to a dark, dark blue, and each color is dyed separately and then put together in a bundle. And then the bundles are named. So this is Texas Ranch, and it comes in, I'm holding the half yard bundle, but you can also get it in these sweet little fat quarter bundles. And if you've been following Cherrywood for a while, we're folding things a little bit differently. So this is our new 8-step fat quarter bundle. Aren't they just cute? They're just like, they have to go home with you. And then the same 8 colors you can also get in large pieces, 1 yard pieces. So this is our full yard bundle of Texas Ranch, 8 colors that are 1 yard each. So we have the same concept for collections of 4. So here's our little cute little zest bundle. This is 4 colors, and these are really light colors, so the camera's not going to pick up much of that tone on tone variation because they're so light. But
and so with the quick question for you, with the tone on tone, what does that do in a quilt?
Well, one of our kind of tagline is solid color doesn't have to be flat. A commercial printed fabric or commercially made fabric that comes off of a bolt and that's just a color, you know, they are beautiful for many projects, but as you can see behind me, there's depth to our color. There's richness. It makes you want to touch it. And
yes, I do want to reach through the screen and touch all the fabric.
It's irresistible. We really need like they have smell-o-vision, but we need touch-o-vision. And even though it does look like suede or even leather or flannel or wool. It is actually a nice lightweight fabric. So it does have a beautiful drape to it. It looks thicker than it is. There is no right or wrong side. That dye is saturated all the way through the fibers. Sometimes, well, most of the time, the mottled texture is different on both sides, meaning that you can use both sides. So it's kind of a bonus. Perfect for paper piecing because you always have to figure out which way the fabric's going to flip. Cherrywood, it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong side. So it's really easy to work with for that. Another huge advantage of hand-dyed fabric is it has been washed and washed and washed. So this fabric is pre-shrunk and the thread count is also very high. We pre-wash the fabric, the dyeing process, it goes through 2 more cycles, and then we wash it 2 more times in hot water. And we use a product called Synthropol, which is a detergent that helps, it helps the dyes behave and also flushes out extra dye that isn't attached to the fibers. So this cotton fabric can only soak up so much dye, and then the excess needs to be flushed out. So that's why we're washing everything twice in hot water after the dyeing process, gets all that dye flushed out. But we do recommend when you get the fabric home to treat it, wash them cold and use Synthropol. And that's a detergent that a lot of times you can pick up at a quilt shop, or you can buy it directly from us on our website. But that that is the only kind of special treatment you have to do with Cherrywood. It is a quilting fabric. It goes with your stash. It mixes wonderfully with batiks and K-facet prints, any print. I've seen people mix it with Civil War prints. And
really?
Yeah, because we have really dark saturated colors.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So those really toned down muted browns, and it can look really antique. It can look very Amish. Amish quilts are gorgeous in Cherrywood because they're dealing with solid colors, but this almost modernizes it. It kind of makes it more organic. And that's another word that is used to describe that texture. It's broken in, it's organic, it's unique. And maybe the camera will pick up, it has a slight brushed feel to it because we start out with the unbleached muslin. So it is
and is there if my Cherrywood is over there, but there is a little bit of, like, I don't want to say nubby texture, but there's a little bit of texture to it anyway. Is that from the dyeing process, or is that the muslin that you purchased? Because I love it.
That dimensional kind of slight fuzziness is the characteristic of the fabric.
Okay.
And nubbiness too, because muslin is a more raw fabric. So the threads will be thick and thin. Okay. And that adds to the character of this. So this is not a mercerized cotton. It's it is a little bit more raw, I guess, for lack of a better term.
That's really important information, because when you see or feel the fabric, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's not a flaw in the fabric.
Right. And in fact, some of the lighter colors, because we are using a unbleached muslin, muslin is comes in different qualities. So this is a very high quality muslin, but the lighter colors, you can still see the seeds and flecks of the cotton plant. So in the lighter color, where I'm not adding a lot of color, you may still see flecks. And that is a characteristic, and that is how Cherrywood is supposed to look. The thread count is also very high. I was getting to that because of all the washing. It's pre-shrunk, so all the warp and weft threads have closed together. So we have a applique teacher who just loves Cherrywood for needle turn applique because it does not fray very much. That high thread count will keep things from fraying a lot. So it needle turns, meaning it'll press and you can turn it under very easily. When you do press cherrywood, it lays so flat. It's just amazing. It'll just press and have a nice crisp edge, and that your seam won't pop up again like some mercerized cotton might do.
Right.
So that makes it also very nice for raw edge applique, which I do a lot because I like to do things fast. So I'm doing a lot of fusible applique with it, and I don't have to finish the edge because it is strong enough. Along with the fusible, it lays really nice and flat.
And it just
I was showing you some purples, and this happens to me all the time where I'm looking at colors and then I just throw another color on it, and it excites me. The combinations of colors are endless. And
oh yeah, I love that.
all
That's
cherrywood goes together.
yes. I actually agree with that. All cherrywood goes together. And if memory serves, I remember in maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, a customer went the full Monty.
Yes.
And can you tell, what is that?
A lot of people say, oh my gosh, I just want one of everything. So we put together everything and we called it the full Monty. And that was a yard of every single color that we carried at the time. We also had a half Monty, which was a half yard of everything, a quarter Monty, that's a quarter yard of everything. Well, again, over COVID, we used to have 40 colors besides the bundles.
Okay.
We had these bundles, we still sell cherrywood like this, but I had selected 40 colors that you could buy in 1 or 2 yard lengths. And we decided that we were going to expand that, and every single color that is within a bundle now and all of our bundles is available, and then some. So we made a huge announcement earlier this year that we now have 200 colors, all hand dyed, made right here in Brainerd, Minnesota. So we have been very busy.
Wait, let me make sure I understand that. 200 colors?
100 colors, yes. So this is our color card now.
Oh, wow.
We have lights and darks. I have added actually a lot more lights into our palette. Cherrywood has, I should mention, Cherrywood has been around over 30 years. I think we're in our 32nd year. So we have added a lot of light colors that weren't in our palette before. And you had mentioned earlier, this is an exciting one. This is our beach collection. That came about, that's also part of our 200 colors. That came about because listening to our customers, we need some lighter colors. We have mediums and darks, but to have enough contrast, we need more lights. And in order to get a nice, clear, light color, I needed to dye in white because, as you know, muslin is a cream color. It's got a little bit of yellow to it. So if I wanted to do a really pale pink, for instance, for our Princess Diana Cherrywood Challenge, there's a very pale pink in there. It would always come out peach or kind of flesh tone. Mm-hmm. So I have finally found a white muslin, a bleach muslin that has the same characteristics as our unbleached muslin, and meaning the little bit of nubbiness in the thread. It's not a perfect weave, but and a little bit of a softness. So we also pre-wash this white, even though we sell it just white. It's pre-washed, pre-shrunk, like everything else. And now I am able to achieve lighter colors, more clear colors that don't have a yellowish tinge to them. So this is the collection. And it was really fun naming the colors. That's the best part of this job, is coming up with color names. So all these colors have something to do with the beach, or like snow cone flavors and cheesecake and pear and colors like this. So as you can see, much lighter than our traditional palette that we've had in the past. So
that's really exciting. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So now you can
Quilters can
get
have
a
a lot of fun with that.
gradation that can go all the way to white. So we've had a gradation from a dark blue down to a very, very light blue, but now you can go really light blue and all the way to white if you'd like to go in that direction.
That's amazing.
And another really exciting change for us is not only do we have 200 colors, you can buy them in any increment, all the way down to a fat quarter. And we are pre-packaging. I don't have one here, but you can get just one fat quarter. You can get a half yard. You can put together your project. You know, not all projects need the same amounts of 8 colors. We understand that. So you might need 2 yards of one, a fat quarter of 7, a half yard of 2 different colors. So now it's more flexible. You can put together a project and have it all be cherrywood in it. Or there's nothing wrong with just saying, you know what, I'm going to start with this. Because those bundles are so gorgeous. And 200 colors can be overwhelming if you're putting a project together. So a lot of times we'll steer people to pick out a bundle to start with, and then you can build on that. If you need some more lights, you can add another 4-step to just get some contrast in there. You can add individual colors of whatever, if you want to kind of continue the gradation from blue, but now you want to go and get some blue to purple. Just a ton of flexibility now.
Oh, this is, you know what? I love watching you grow, because you are adding things that make the entire line incredibly dynamic, and it opens up the door for quilters to really just have fun playing with color. Like, seriously, have fun playing with color.
Right. And you know, solids, there's no distracting with a print or a texture. It's just the color. The color does the heavy lifting, the color does the work. And that can be intimidating to some people. But again, having collections and bundles put together for you really helps that fear of, I don't know how to work with solids. And what happens is the design lines, this is just a simple pattern. This is one of my new patterns that I was going to premiere at the market. And this is all raw edge cut fabric. I'm leaving it raw edge because it won't fray. It'll fray a little bit, but that's just going to soften that gradation of color. It's layered onto a muslin foundation, and it's a simple cut with free hand. There's no rulers. It's very freeing. It goes together really fast, but how simple is that? And it's just gorgeous because the color is front and center. The very subtle curves you can see the edges of. If this had a loud print to it, you wouldn't necessarily see the soft, gentle cuts that you made because there's just too much going on. Whereas this is color.
Wow. You know what? I was seriously like staring behind you because those quilts are really intriguing. And I think this is just beautiful. Is the pattern called Infinity, by the way?
Yes, the pattern's called Infinity, and it just takes 8 fat quarters. So any of our 8-step fat quarter bundles would work, and it will be enough fabric to actually make 2. The runners behind me are about 60 inches long by, well, you can make them as wide or as long as you want. And that's why I called it Infinity, because you can keep layering waves of color and just keep going and going because it's addicting. It's fast. Our kits, we're putting fusible Misty Fuse in the kits. So all those strips are fused onto the muslin foundation, and you just have an instant gorgeous table runner, bed runner, placemats, insert into another quilt. Clothing, can you imagine a jacket that's all raw edge waves of cherrywood that are just slightly kind of textured with the frame? That's my next project, is to make that into a jacket.
You clearly have like creative brain. Love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so we were talking beforehand, and you mentioned that you do wholesale.
I do, yes. And that's maybe a little known fact that a lot of our customers may not know. You may find Cherrywood in quilt shops. And if you don't, if your quilt shop owner does not carry Cherrywood, have them give us a call, because we do offer wholesale. We sell to shops just like this. So it's great for the shops because they can pick out bundles already made, and the bundles come pre-packaged, pre-washed, just like it does for the customer. So it's really easy for a quilt shop to get up and running, because I also have packages for like a startup package, combination of 12 steps, 8 steps, different sizes, so you really get a good variety, so your customers have, they can see a wide range of colors and also have a range of size options. So we have packages available for shop owners in smaller packs or larger packages if you really want to make a big impact, and depending on how much room you have in the shop. So yeah, tell your quilt shop owners and say, you really should carry Cherrywood. And then when you come into the store, you can see and feel and touch, because you really need to feel this, right, Teri? It's
Oh yeah, you totally need to feel this fabric up. Like this I can tell you with absolute certainty that Cherrywood has all the fabric pheromones that make it like totally, like you have to touch it and feel it.
Yes, and even smell it. Yeah.
Yes.
I wear a lot of vests and jackets that are made out of Cherrywood, and I get petted a lot, or like I'll be standing in line and I'll feel someone kind of touch it, because they want to know, is that suede? Is that wool? Is that leather? And when I tell them it's 100% cotton, they're like, no way, that looks just like suede. But you can wash it. So it's much more flexible than a actual suede.
Mm-hmm.
I also design patterns like the infinity one.
Mm-hmm.
Petal palette is a pattern that really shows off all of our rainbow colors. I have 12-step gradations that are, the 12 spokes of the color wheel. I think about color wheel on a daily basis. And then this is a brand new pattern for us. It's called Tumbling Softly. And this was designed by a friend of ours up in Canada, Valerie Prudhoe. So every once in a while, I will have a designer make a pattern exclusively for us. And this will be kitted up and available. And she used a lot of those light colors that are new for us. And it is just gorgeous. Yeah, so that's I also have about 10 more different patterns. And I like to design very simply, because I know that Cherrywood is going to showcase. You don't need to cut it up real small, because it makes it a dramatic impact on its own. Mm-hmm. So you can do a very simple cutting and piecing, and it'll look so sophisticated because of that suede look of that hand-dyed fabric. It just has a look that it can't be matched by a commercial printed fabric off the bolt.
No, I'm looking at my long arm right now, and I can assure you of that.
Well, another cool thing that has happened because of this, people want to know, well, what do the colors really look like? If I can't get to a store that carries Cherrywood, or I'm looking on the internet and the colors, it's a computer screen, it's hard. Mm-hmm. So we made a swatch box, and this gorgeous wooden box is engraved with their logo, and the box itself is so pretty. These are made for us by a company called Woodchuck. This is a mahogany box, and when you open it up, we have swatches of all 200 colors. So,
oh my goodness.
You can see all the reds and oranges, and they're in order. darks, some lights, and they come out, and then you can play with them. So on the back of all of the cards is the name and number for ordering.
Oh, wow.
And all the fun names. And then you can see the subtle differences between oregano and leaf. And like this is just a small amount of colors, but the slight variations, now you can compare. And now you have to keep in mind that this is all hand dyed, so we can control the colors. We're very good at every batch that we dye trying to get the same color.
Okay.
But this is all hand dyed, so there's a lot of variations to it.
And as of the time of the video, so you know, if you're watching this 5 years from when we publish, the things may change, but as of the time of the video, how much is that going for?
This is $125 for the box with all 200 swatches.
I think that's a big bargain.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine the plane with color combinations like I showed you. I just put colors, I throw colors together, and it surprises you. Like I like that those two colors together.
Yes.
And you wouldn't have known that unless they happened to touch each other. So you know, it'll break out of your box. Maybe you're not a purple person. Maybe, you know, you never buy purple when you go to a store, but you realize that putting purple in there would really make a difference. So now you have just a little bit of it, so you know. So these are actual fabric adhered to a very thick card. So they're very strong, and then printed on the back. And this is also a good tool for a quilt shop owner to have. So we're offering them to the shops. So the shops won't be selling these. These will only be available from us. But if your quilt shop owner has one of these, then she can say, okay, I don't have this one in stock, but I will get this color in stock for you. And then that makes it easier to just touch and feel rather than relying on a computer screen.
You know what? And I'm sitting here thinking, as a teacher, I'm thinking this is a great way to help for quilters to gain confidence in understanding how color can play, but also how color plays with us. So, you know, color in and of itself, color is relative, and it can be darker or lighter depending on what it's next to. So this is a great way to explore, an inexpensive way to explore how all of that works together.
And it's so interesting how color changes in the light. I'm in fluorescent lighting. There's daylight. There's, okay, if you're making a quilt and you know it's going to go on this wall, you can bring these chips. They're basically paint chips. You can bring that to the place where that quilt's going to hang. So see what the color really is. And maybe, you know, these two colors are so similar, you'd be amazed at how much they can change in the light. I mean, it happens just in this video, depending on how the light catches it.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's getting the blue light from the computer or the more yellow light from the fluorescent.
Right. So fun, fun, fun. And yeah, just I kind of dump some out here, and it just like, it gets your blood flowing. If you have all of these colors at your fingertips, I guarantee you, you're going to come up with combinations and ideas and plan your projects, and also bring it to your stash. Lay it down with your CAFE collection. Lay it down with your, you know, any line of fabric, and you can pick out colors from printed commercial fabrics and complement it with a solid color. I use printed fabric all the time. I'm always buying commercial fabric, and I'm looking at the colors used that go into that print, and then pulling out the colors and seeing how I can get them to work together. So it's just a great tool.
I fully support you in that.
And it's such a pretty box. So you can leave them in the box, you can take them out and play with them and use the box for something else, but that is our swatch box.
Sweet. All right. Do you have anything else?
Well, let me check my list. I have had so much in the last year. Oh, well, I've had a lot of fun with advertising and how we're presenting this to people and not taking ourselves so seriously. It's been a pretty serious couple of years. So I've had a lot of fun with making videos, and
Okay.
I'll show you one here.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Now. Let's
go ahead
Okay.
and play it now, and if I have to edit it out, I will.
Okay, let's see if I can figure out.
There we go. Oh, look at that.
Hello, I'm Karla Overland, owner of Cherrywood Hand-Dyed Fabrics. Has this ever happened to you? Do you struggle with which Cherrywood bundle to buy? Do you often want just a couple colors and not the whole bundle? Does your pattern call for different quantities of each color? Are you suffering from color deprivation? If you answered yes to any of these questions, ask your doctor or quilt shop owner about Cherrywood. Cherrywood is the safe, natural way to feel more confident about color. We now offer 200 colors of hand-dyed fabric that will help ease you into the wonderful world of quality fabric. Like to put your own collections together? Now you have the option of choosing from a glorious room full of color in every shade and tint under the sun. Selecting ingredients for a quilt just became easier with the option to buy just a pinch of this, a half yard of that, and a pound of another. You will notice the benefits of Cherrywood almost immediately. And with a regiment of regular doses, you can overcome any fear of color that may prevent you from making the quilts you want to make. Tactile deprivation will be a thing of the past.
Hand-dyed fabric may vary slightly from colors represented on your computer. No animals were harmed in the production of this fabric. Side effects may include heart palpitations, extreme happiness, chronic smiling, tears of joy, eye twitches, finger twitches, uncontrolled petting, uncontrolled drooling, increased creativity, increased compliments, increased adoration from friends, higher risk of winning awards, and coloration. Objects in the mirror may appear closer. Quilts and Cherrywood may appear better. It may cause desire to lock yourself in your sewing room and not come out for days. It may cause desire to stop using any other fabric brands. Quilters who are nursing or pregnant should definitely buy Cherrywood. Quilters who have a high tolerance for color may experience high levels of satisfaction or euphoria. Batteries not included. Bonuses not included.
So what are you waiting for? Stop craving and start collecting with Cherrywood.
To order by credit card, call toll-free 1-888-298-0967. That's 1-888-298-0967, or visit www.cherrywoodfabrics.com.
Well done. Like I'm laughing so hard I have tears. That was well
So
done.
much fun making that. And it helps to have a husband who has a good sense of humor. So he is my commentator in the background. And yeah, so we're having a lot of fun with those.
As well you should. As well you should. So is there anything else going on in Baxter, Minnesota?
Well, just a little thing called the Cherrywood Challenge.
Oh, do you have it?
Yes.
Can I see it?
Yes. So I'm going to show you another fun video that is going to tell you what it is without me having to just tell you. So hang on just one second.
Okay. I'm so excited. Oh my God, Karla. Like, oh my God.
Are you excited?
No, not at all.
We're so excited.
Like, when are the bundles going to be available?
October 1st. So like a week from today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So by the time
Yeah.
the video comes out, these will be available. They can
Yeah.
order them. They'll be able to get them at Festival?
Yes.
Okay. So they'll be available at Festival. Bring cash, bring your credit card, get your bundle, get 2 of them because they're just so cool. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So you get 3 grays and you get these bright highlight colors, basically. A couple of oranges, a bright yellow, green, blue. And this is going to go back, if you've been following Cherrywood Fabrics, a lot of times we'll pick basically one color and then you can add accent colors as long as it's Cherrywood. But this will be like our Bob Ross challenge. You're getting these 8 colors. You can only use these 8 colors. But you've got 8 colors, 8 fat quarters. And this year, like in the video, we are happy to be working with Misty Fuse because a lot of people do, applique and pictorial things. So each bundle will come with a yard of Misty Fuse. And if you've never used Misty Fuse before, don't worry. There'll be a little instruction sheet inside on how to use it. So you get a yard of Misty Fuse, 8 fat quarters, and then when you purchase the bundle, you're also paying the entry fee into the contest. So buy your bundle. That means you're in. That means get it done. We're starting the challenge a little bit earlier than we have in the past. We've often started November 1st. We're going to start October 1st. So by the time you see this, we will already be selling bundles like crazy. And then the due date is May 1st. So the quilts are small, think 20 inches square, and you can do whatever you want. And just have fun with what does graffiti, maybe you saw some cool graffiti on a trip. Maybe you have some cool graffiti close to where you live. Maybe you've done graffiti. And graffiti isn't just lettering and tags and things like that. It can be pictorial. I mean, it's basically art out in the environment. So, just a huge amount of subject matter that you could do. But think about, how can I use fabric like spray paint? And that is the challenge. So, in the little sample that I was making, I was trying to just kind of elude the fact where colors are layered together. How can you make fabric do that? So it's going to be a lot of fun. Push yourself to do some research. I think one of the best parts of these challenges, if people haven't been familiar with the subject matter that we choose every year, they do research. They learn stuff that they probably never would have learned before, because not only it's pushing yourself creatively in the design process to come up with an original design, but the more you learn about the subject matter, I mean, it's just going to help you grow on a personal level too. So,
well, and once you have selected the quilts, they go travel for a little while, then, don't they?
Yeah, we photograph them and we make a book. So basically, it's an exhibit book. It is a jury process, so we do select a certain amount of quilts that we put into a traveling exhibit. And like this year at Quilt Festival, we are premiering the Diana Challenge from the previous year. So all of the quilts will be on display, and they will go from show to show to show for at least a year. Sometimes we have some cool things come up where we keep the quilts a little bit longer because we have a wonderful exhibit. In fact, we have just announced that the Bob Ross Challenge, which was 2 years ago, it's a little weird with COVID in there because that made it 3 years ago. We had a delay. So the Bob Ross Cherrywood Challenge is actually traveling right now. And we have worked with the fine folks in Muncie, Indiana, where the Bob Ross experience is located. It's basically a Bob Ross museum. and you can see where he videotaped all of the shows, and you can see his original paintbrushes and palette and where he actually painted during the show. And there's a gallery right next door, and all of the Cherrywood Challenge Bob Ross quilts are going to be on display in that gallery all summer from March until October of 2022.
Oh, wow,
So
that's really
when something
exciting.
cool comes up like that, of course, we're going to keep the exhibit a little longer, because just imagine how many hundreds and thousands of people are going to see these art quilts.
Right.
So really exciting.
Oh, I'm that, for all those, this is a great time to try something new, to not just expand, but, use color in new ways, and just have a blast, like really just have a blast.
Right. Yeah. And it's only 20 inches square. So we don't want you to feel intimidated. We don't want you to feel intimidated by the fabric and the color and the content itself, or even don't worry about what other people are doing. Because yes, there are some remarkable quilts in the Cherrywood challenges, but we're all at different levels. We're all come from different experiences. We all, do this for you. Don't worry about other people. Come up with something that you kind of go, I didn't even know I could do that. That's what this challenge is all about.
This is really exciting, and I am looking forward to seeing what people do with it. And I will be handing you my credit card at festival. Creative Brain has sort of gone into overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Karla, where can people find you?
Well, cherrywoodfabrics.com, and we do have a store, and we're located in Brainerd, Baxter, Minnesota. So if you are in central Minnesota, or even if you get to Minneapolis, we're not that far north from there. So make a trip up to see us, because you can see where we dye this fabric. You can see our small crew of fantastic women who dye a little every day, and you can shop in our store.
And what we saw earlier in that first video, is that how the fabric is actually displayed?
Yes. Yep. So we have just racks and racks, the whole room of color. And, the raw colors are hung over rods, and then the pre-cut pieces are ready to go or be put into bundles. And it's a candy store. I might have to call it the candy store, because that's usually what people say when they walk in. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. This is like walking into a candy store.
And can quilters find you on Instagram and Facebook and
Yes.
other social media?
Yep, we're very active on Facebook, active on Instagram, and we do have a YouTube channel. And again, you can find us in quilt shops around the country, and hopefully you'll find us in more quilt shops in the very near future. That's it. I didn't want to chop that little part out.
No, because we really do want to get you into more quilt shops. So do you know locally to me, is there somebody who sells Cherrywood?
I was just looking, just north of Houston.
Okay.
I can't remember what the shop is called now.
That's okay.
They got Quilters Crossing.
I'm learning all the shops here now that I can go and play.
Yeah, there's no shop in Austin, so I'm going to be working on finding key geographical areas and reaching out to shops. So that is our goal for 2022.
That's a fantastic goal, to get Cherrywood into more shops.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else that you would like to share before we wrap up? Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please do go visit cherrywoodfabrics.com. Go visit the store. Go visit Karla at festival. I'll be at festivals, so if you see me running around, just stop and say hi. I am teaching, and I will look forward to doing the Cherrywood Challenge. And as soon as I have my fabric, I will be doing a live video. I might even show you, well, I'm not going to show you handing my credit card, but I might show you, I'm gonna just
Fabric
hand
thing.
Karla my credit card. Yes, yes. You know what? That's actually the picture that we'll get. And you have every once in a while you have some oddities too, right? Are you gonna have any oddities at festival?
Probably.
Okay.
And I also, a little plug for Wendy Richardson. I have been carrying her fabric, which is an over-dyed fabric. So you'll see some of that in our booth and also on our website.
Sweet, sweet.
All things hand-dyed.
Oh, yes. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining us. And thank you so much, Karla, for joining me this afternoon. And I look forward to seeing you at festival.
Awesome. Thanks, Teri, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.